So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our post-draft prospect rebuild series, and today it's Cody Williams to the Utah Jazz. The Jazz are obviously kind of in a very interesting position right now with their franchise. They have a face of their franchise, if you will, in Lauri Markkanen, but they're also very much aware this team is not really good enough to compete for anything serious in the West. So my goal today is to obviously go through this 5-year rebuild, kind of rebuild, retool this team, if you will, eventually get them a championship, hopefully, and hopefully our guy Cody Williams is at the forefront of doing that. We'll talk a little bit more about Williams once we get into the video, but of course, as always, before we do, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comments section. I know I've mentioned it quite a bit recently, but we are in a very, very weird and kind of downtime of the 2K cycle. We're about a month away until 2K25, so got a couple more rebuilds, probably 15, 20 more rebuilds here on 2K24, and that is going to be it. So I've loved the historic rebuilds. I've loved the prospect rebuilds. Anything else you guys want to see, let me know down below. Let's get into it. Right off the rip, I want to mention that I think the Utah Jazz are one of the biggest winners of the 2024 NBA draft. We're going to talk about all of the prospects and all of the moves that they made this offseason so far in just a second, but this is just a Cody Williams prospect rebuild, technically. I know they also had 2 other draft picks that I think are going to be really impactful at some point in time, but just for, bookkeeping's sake, this is just a Cody Williams rebuild, okay? Got it, all on the same page. Let's talk about this roster. As I mentioned, in a very interesting position right now, Lauri Markkanen, 27 years of age, of course, is eligible for a contract extension, has not signed it yet, but has also not been traded yet. It's going to be a very, very interesting kind of last domino of the NBA offseason to fall, if you will. So let's talk about the point guard spot. Keontae George, 20 years old. They drafted Isaiah Collier near the end of the first round. These are going to be the guys that I'm going to try to build around today. Of course, with 5 years, we have a little bit more time. Hopefully sit back, relax a little bit, and let these guys develop. But I definitely think both of them have increasingly positive upside. I cannot fucking speak today. Colin Sexton, 25 years old, was one of the pieces that the Utah Jazz got from the Cavaliers in the Donovan Mitchell trade. And overall wise, I think he's a good player. He's a very solid young player on a very nice contract. I don't know if he's going to be here the entire time. I'm not planning one way or the other. We're just going to go year to year with him, see what ends up happening. Jordan Clarkson is certainly somebody I could see moved this offseason. Apparently, there hasn't been a very big interest in terms of Jordan Clarkson. I think he can still be an impactful player. I know sometimes the shooting can be a bit streaky, but I do think he could be a good player on a contender. They brought back Johnny Juzang on a 4-year, about $13 million contract. Now, he is only a 69 overall. So we will see what we end up doing here with Johnny today. Man of the video, Mr. Cody Williams, obviously the younger brother of Jalen, who is a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm not really sure what to expect out of Cody Williams today. My one goal is to hopefully have him develop as much as possible. Maybe can be as good as his older brother was. So there's a lot to like about Cody Williams. I know he's a good playmaker. I know it was a low clip, but did shoot the outside ball pretty well. I think it was about 41% from beyond the arc. So excited to see what we can do with him here today. Of course, puts on a little bit more weight. You never know what's going to happen. Bryce Sensabaugh is only 20. Now, I'm not really sure how much I love his upside. I think he can be a solid NBA player. I just don't know what we're going to do with him here today. Power forward spot, we discussed him a little bit right off the top of this video, but Lauri Markkanen, there's obviously a lot of different teams, contending teams at that are interested in his services. And, if Lauri Markkanen wants to stay in Utah, I would not blame them for continuing to rebuild around him. The only thing you got to kind of keep in mind that he's already 27, right? He's in his prime. He's not some young blue chip prospect anymore. Darius Baisley, Taylor Hendricks are here as well. Taylor Hendricks was, 9th overall pick last year? Yes, he was. So I would like to get him into a little bit of a bigger role. We will obviously try to figure out what that role is going to be, but I do want to get him some minutes. Then Filipowski's here as well. Slid a little bit in the draft. Can probably play some center as well as the power forward spot. So excited to see what we do with him here today. I definitely want to try to get him a decent amount of minutes, though. And then the center spot, Walker Kessler, I'm pretty high on. Solid defensive center. Somebody that I very well think could be here the entire 5-year stretch, so we'll deal with that. You got John Collins, not super high on long term, but we'll figure it out. And then Eubanks and Kenny Lofton, who actually think might have already been released. But that's where we're at. Obviously not the greatest roster in the world. I think a couple trades before we kick off year 1 can certainly be beneficial. We're hitting up the Miami Heat, and we're going to see if we can maybe make a deal that would land them Jordan Clarkson, potentially land us Duncan Robinson. I do want to try to get a first-round pick out of this, though. So if it's possible, I know they don't exactly have a ton to offer. Oh, okay. Well, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Of course, I'm not really sure if many of you guys are, unaware of this, but if you're not aware of this already, this is not a realistic rebuild. And then our final trade before we start year one is going to be a deal here with the Washington Wizards. We're sending John Collins and Johnny Dzang over to Washington for Jordan Poole and Rashawn Holmes. Ultimately, these are both players that are on multi-year contracts, can eventually be tradable pieces for me, whereas John Collins not only was somebody that I wasn't necessarily interested in playing a bit, was also an expiring deal. So, final trade here with the Wizards, Jordan Poole, Rashawn Holmes. Welcome to Utah. Start of year one for us here in Utah. Besides these ugly-ass jerseys, this team is not necessarily very good. Of course, we are building for the long term right now. That is why we have the 5-year post-draft prospect rebuilds. All right, here's how it's going to look. Keontae George, Colin Sexton, Cody Williams, who is going to be starting. By the way, 2K recommends I play him 0 minutes. Shout out 2K. I got Lauri Markkanen at the 4, and then Walker Kessler as my starting center. Probably not a lot of surprises in that starting 5. Bench unit will be led by newly acquired Jordan Poole. Got Taylor Hendricks, who, as I mentioned, we want to develop as much as possible. Good to see him getting 18 minutes tonight. You got Isaiah Collier here at the backup point guard spot, Kyle Filipowski, and then Bryce Sensabaugh rounding out this 10-man rotation. So, I'm not going to be surprised if we're not very good. The one kind of main goal this season is just development, and that's all I'm really looking forward to. And hopefully this is one of our only bad seasons. I'll see you guys at the end of said bad season. Year one comes to an end. It was painful, as we kind of expected. We go 24-58, and as I mentioned, hopefully this is the only bad season that we're going to have here. SGA, 38 points a game. He's your MVP. Ignore that. Russell Westbrook, 6th man. Wemby, your depoy. These awards in year one are pretty much always the same. All right, let's just sim through all of this. We'll dive into the standings real quick. Our first round pick, I believe, is top 10 protected this year, which is good. We're currently going to have, tied with Brooklyn and the Charlotte Hornets for all the same odds at the number 1 overall selection. So Cooper Flag potentially in play. We will find out. Let's go over the numbers real quick, see how everybody performed for us this year. Lauri Markkanen was pretty solid, about 22-9-1, 47% from the field, and he was about 38% from beyond the arc. Cody Williams. Oh my God, I didn't even see that. This is great. 16.5 points a game, about 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, half a block, 44.5% from the field. He's about 31.5% from 3, so if he's going to shoot the 3 ball, you certainly like to see that maybe go up a little bit, but I'll take that for a rookie season. Keontae George, Colin Sexton, Poole, Kessler, Collier, Hendricks, Sensabaugh, Filipowski. Rebounds, we were led by Kessler, and assists was George. So clearly we will not be participating in the NBA playoffs here in the first season. So let's sim through it all. It is going to be a Cavaliers and a Denver Nuggets finals. Denver wins their second in 3 years, and it is a 29.5-point triple-double for now 2-time finals MVP, Nikola Jokic. Okay, LeBron, CP3, Lowry, Al Horford, Mike Conley, Rudy Gay. Oh my God, all of these names, man. It's just sad, man. I always just mention in the video, just like the day that it's going to actually happen in real life, it's going to just like kind of hit me. And I'm talking about like LeBron's retirement at this point. Of course, some of the other guys, Russ, I didn't even see Russ retired. I mean, it's insane. It's so crazy. Okay, this is the biggest moment of the video so far. We are projected the number 2 overall selection. It actually says we just own our pick outright. I don't think we technically do, but it's fine. We end up with the number 2 overall pick. It's top 10 protected. Let me just read to you guys what it is just in case. Okay, let's see. Utah's first round pick to Oklahoma City, surprise, surprise, protected for selections 1 through 10 in 2025 and 1 through 8 in 2026. So if our pick is not in the top 8 next year, the Thunder get it. If it is, we'll obviously retain it. So I'll sort that out whenever it comes. Of course, it's not something to worry about right now. All right, staff signing. Ooh, possible head coaching opening here. Mark Daignault, Stauffer here. I love me my Joe Mazzulla. I mean, do not get me wrong, but I'm just thinking here. Do I want to retain Will Hardy? I think he's done a pretty good job with the Jazz. There are a lot of big names here. That I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't interested in like Mark Daignault, but I feel like this is one of those videos where I can just go back and get the guy that was doing a pretty decent job. And it's not like Will Hardy has poor ratings or anything like that. So you know what? We're going to bring back Will Hardy. There's certainly an argument to maybe look in a different direction, but I am going to hang on to him and retain his services for now. NBA coaches these days just do not have very long leashes in terms of like what the time frame they have to actually build upon things. Kind of crazy. Why is Walker Kessler pissed? Why? I mean, I understand why like Baisley and Eubanks and Robinson are, just because of course we didn't play them, but why is Kessler pissed? Right? That's 2K's got to work on that. Okay, number 2 overall pick in round number 1, and then number 27 overall pick in round number 1. I'm just going to stay at both those spots. And I'm assuming Cooper Flag goes number 1. Let's not. Okay. Spurs, good God. It's going to be him and Wemby in the same front court. Now, we have a couple different options here with what we could possibly do. Now, I'm assuming there's many different needs on this team, right? I'm thinking Ace Bailey might be my guy, and I'm thinking that because if I'm thinking of a long-term reasoning, right, the shooting guard spot is certainly something that's in play. There's nothing wrong with Colin Sexton. He's a fine player for us, but is he, going to be that maybe generational guy? Probably not. So Ace Bailey, you got Dylan Harper here as well, Nolan Traore, VJ Edgecombe. I mean, there's a lot of really great players here, but Ace Bailey's going to be my guy. So welcome to the team. Excited to have him here. Probably about as good as you can do if you're not going to get Cooper Flagg. Let's look at some other different positions right now that possibly could be of need. Carter Knox is here. Maybe another shooting guard. I'll take him. I'm not saying that we're, of course, going to be playing, all of these guys that we end up drafting, but certainly nice to have some depth on the roster. So excited about that. Baisley, Robinson, both coming back, of course, in a non-realistic setting. Doesn't really matter. So we take a look here at free agency. Of course, we do have a very big free agent here, Mr. Larry Marketing. Unfortunately, fortunately for us, I will say, no teams have really offered him real contracts. But he is certainly asking for quite a bit of money. 5 years, about $220 million. Going to retain him, and now we're going to make some more trades. We're doing a weird one-for-one swap. It does also include a draft pick, and on paper, it certainly may not be the best trade in the world, but it is a deal we are going to make here. With the Los Angeles Lakers, we are sending out Colin Sexton, who we have potentially drafted his replacement, and Dalton Connect's going to come in and just be a nice rotation piece for me. If Sexton wasn't expiring, maybe I hang on to him, but he wasn't necessarily in my long-term plans, and this is a deal that's going to get us a somewhat young player here in Dalton Connect, an unprotected first-round pick. So it's really just going to allow Ace Bailey to kind of fully take over at the shooting guard spot, and then hopefully Connect will be a nice rotation piece, as I mentioned. So now moving forward, I'm just going to kind of clear out this roster. I know I said I don't want to necessarily suck again next season, but if we're maybe fighting for like the 10th seed, something like that, it's certainly not the end of the world. So, Poole, goodbye. These guys were all placeholders anyways. Thank you very much, Sacramento. I mean, again, I didn't really have many big plans, but I actually also considered a couple deals to maybe improve our starting small forward spot, but Cody Williams was just so fantastic his rookie season, and of course, this is his video. He's going to take over that spot, probably for the remainder of said video. So, yeah, just moving on from all the guys that were kind of out of the rotation, not really getting minutes, acquiring a whole bunch of draft picks. It feels like a really good plan to me. So now Darius Baisley also expiring, probably on his way out. And then we got to do something here with the center spot. This is ugly right now. It's going to be Kessler and Filipowski. Not really sure why Walker Kessler's still all pissed. So I'm just going to move these guys like slowly but surely. Again, I know it's not the most crazy realistic thing, but that's not really what we're trying to go for here today. So let's just see if we can kind of clear out all of these guys. Ooh, is that Tyler Kolek? Is he expiring? Is he expiring? He's not. All right, we'll actually pick up Tyler Kolek. I'm not sure if he's going to play, but he's a nice young player. And then Kenny Lofton, who I actually don't even think is really on this team. I'm actually just going to take a second. It's fine. And then our final trade is going to be Darius Baisley. So I know we're stripping this thing down. We are trading away many, many NBA players right now, but I think this is going to be really beneficial because we're going to have a ton of assets, and now we have a ton of young talent here. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. I was a big fan of that offseason. Of course, we didn't add some superstar player. I mean, potentially, if you want to call Ace Bailey that, there's certainly an argument for it, but of course, he's not quite there yet. But we didn't make, some big blockbuster trade to add some all-NBA player. We basically brought this thing down to its studs, and we are going to build it all the way back up. Very excited. Keontae George, Ace Bailey, Cody Williams, Larry Marketing, Walker Kessler. Again, probably not a lot of surprises there. Newly acquired Dalton Connect will be my 6th man here. Still got Taylor Hendricks, Isaiah Collier, Bryce Sensabaugh, and Kyle Filipowski rounding out the 10-man rotation. So it sucks that like Tyler Kolek, and not even Keezy Akpala, but like in him and Carter Knox, they aren't really getting minutes, but it's just kind of the reality of the situation. Ooh, what did I just do? Ooh. Oh, I put him on the trade block. I thought I released him. I'm such an idiot. Meant to send him down to the G League. All right, this is how it's going to be here for year 2. Again, I'm not sure if we're going to be, competing for anything serious, but we are certainly going to try, and now we have a good foundation. I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. It is another MVP for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but more importantly, this team went 48-34. That feels like an overachievement. That feels like our absolute ceiling, and I will 1,000% take it. Ace Bailey does win Rookie of the Year. Was certainly a very big contributor. We'll take a look more at his numbers and everybody else's in just a second, but pretty solid rookie campaign, if I do say so myself. I mean, certainly like the 3-point percentage to be a bit higher, but for a rookie, those are great numbers. Dame is now a 6th man in Milwaukee. Okay, I have no idea who's starting ahead of him. Nick Claxton's your depoy. You don't see that one too often. Typically, it's just always Wembanyama, so good to see somebody else. Jaden Hardy, Donovan Mitchell, hold up, wait a minute. 67-15. Monty Williams also not even the Pistons head coach, but 67-15 in Detroit. Okay, we're going to have to take a look at that one. Let's get into the standings. We were the 3 seed. 48 wins, takes a 3 seed in the West. That's insane. Who the hell is here? 67 wins? Okay. One of those days with 2K, I guess. Points per game, Lowry Marketing. Cody Williams was, again, absolutely fantastic for us. Continues to make jumps and strides in the right direction. Ace Bailey, George, Connect, Kessler, Collier, Hendricks, Sensabaugh, Filipowski. I mean, this team is just really embracing the youth movement, and it looks like the youth movement is working. What a great season out of Keontae George as well. We have the San Antonio Spurs, who, funny enough, were just picking number 1 overall last year. 1 spot ahead of us. Obviously, this front court of Cooper Flagg and Wembanyama is going to be a very, very big pain in the ass for a very long time. So, battle of 2 really solid young groups right here. Hopefully we can get the best of them and hopefully move on to round 2. We do that. We are winning in 5. Now the defending champs, the Denver Nuggets here, brought back Monte Morris, former Denver Nugget. Christian Brown added Jalen Smith. All right, we know how good Nikola Jokic is, but we're pretty good ourselves. Wow. What is going on? Okay, now here comes the real demons, who've added Cam Thomas. Okay, interesting. My God, this is probably not going to go our way. If I had to take a guess, it's probably not going to be our series, and we're going to lose this. Oh, well. Oh, my God. I got a little ahead of myself there, almost. I do not know how the Pistons are. What? Okay, definitely one of those days. All things considered, that's a fantastic season, right? I mean, I don't really know how much more you can ask. Ooh, Steph and Harden, oh my God. I don't really know how much more you can ask, besides a year like that. Of course, it would have been nice to make the finals, but Western Conference Finals for a team that was just picking number 2 overall, oh my God, is that Lakers pick protected? Holy shit, we are in the lottery so much. I don't know what the protections are. Oh, good, Thunder again. Okay, well, now we have number 4, number 5, and then I think we might have had one more, but it might be protected. Okay, well, 2 top 5 draft picks for a team that was just in the Western Conference Finals is totally cool with me. Of course, the number 1 and number 2 overall picks are owned by the team that were just in the finals. So that is what it is. Insane. I actually cannot believe that we have these draft picks, but I am certainly, more than okay with it. I'm assuming this Timberwolves one traces all the way back to the Rudy Gobert trade. I'm not sure if this is from the Sexton deal or not. I don't see any other Lakers picks, and I know we got a first from the Lakers, so I'm assuming it just probably is. And then in most situations, I would use the first overall pick in round 2, but it just doesn't really feel necessary right now. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with these draft picks, so give me a minute. I've decided that since it's been working so well, I'm going to continue to commit to the youth movement. Now, we're not going to move up and do anything crazy like that, but we will go ahead and obviously consider pretty much all of our options here. So I'm thinking some potential replacements at some backup positions could possibly be in order. Now, I don't know a lot about Darren Peterson, but he's certainly a prospect that I could maybe bring in and potentially play at the backup small forward spot. Bryce Sensabaugh has been fine for kind of what we were expecting, but if we can maybe make an upgrade and keep all of our guys still on rookie contracts, I think it makes some sense. So Darren Peterson, welcome to the team. Of course, we have the pick right after this as well. And I'm thinking for this one, I was originally maybe thinking center, but there's obviously not a lot of high-rated centers here. So maybe a guy like Caleb Wilson, who, potentially could be a replacement at the backup power forward spot, or he could be a trade piece. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to go ahead and make 2 draft picks there. Going to be a 78 and 77 overall, respectively, and I'm very happy about it. So bringing back absolutely everybody here. Of course, we are in a position right now to just basically just continue this thing, right? We haven't really made a crazy trade or a crazy signing, but we haven't needed to. We've had a lot of these pieces basically exactly where we wanted them to be, and want to go out and sign Luka, something like that? No, I just don't think oh my God, he's going to go to the Hawks. Wow, the team that drafted him. Obviously Kevin Durant as well, but why would I screw something up that's been going so well, right? It doesn't make much sense to me. I'm just going to pay Walker Kessler, and then we're just going to basically go from there. So welcome back, Walker Kessler. I would like to get Filipowski back. The game is not going to allow me because I don't have bird rights on him, but I'd like to retain him as well. So I think we do still have one trade coming. We have found ourselves our new backup center. Kyle Filipowski is certainly a nice piece, but we do want to make at least a couple upgrades to this team, and that's going to come at the hands of Ivica Zubac and the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, I know on paper we are certainly giving up a lot here. Hendricks, Sensabaugh, Tyler Kolek, all 24 years or younger, but they're all also expiring. And of course, I cannot pay everybody throughout the course of this rebuild. I can pay a lot of people to the point where it's not even remotely realistic, but we also just have to consider sometimes too much depth can also be an issue. So this is the move we're making. Also getting Cam Christie in the deal. Not exactly sure if he's going to play for us. Is he expiring, by the way? He is. So you know what? I'm not even going to hang on to Cam Christie. Our shooting guard spot has more than enough depth at it. So hopefully just get another draft pick. And this thing, I mean, we're just rolling right now, right? I mean, there's another deal with the Clippers. There's just a point where you have so much young talent, but it's really, really good problem to have right now. So I am very, very happy with this team and how things are looking. And I think this team can be even better next year and hopefully a championship contender. I'll see you guys at the start of year 3. Last year, we shocked the world, made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals, went down 3-0, then somehow came back to force a Game 7, and of course lost that Game 7. This offseason, we did make some moves. We cleared up some of the depth issues that we had. It's always funny because some days in some videos, I'm really struggling to have like really, really solid like 8th, 9th, and 10th guys, and some days like this, I have so much depth and so much talent that it's just almost overbearing, and that's obviously not something you want. But we've finally created, I think, a team that can be competitive to the point where we're serious contenders. It's Keyonte George, Ace Bailey, Cody Williams, Lauri Markkanen, and Walker Kessler. Going to be Darren Peterson off the bench as my 6th man. The game actually, if I auto-set this, the game recommends I start him even if the minutes don't show it. I'm not going to do that, but he's going to hopefully get a majority of the minutes off the bench for us. Beats Zubac, Isaiah Collier, Dalton Connect, who I feel bad went from 6th man to 9th man, but that's how these go sometimes. Then Caleb Wilson, who we drafted 5th overall. So, insane team. I think this team is going to be very, very good, and I will see you guys at the end of year 3. We have officially arrived. 68-14 to wrap up the 3rd season here in Utah. Tyrese Halliburton, your MVP. We are ready to compete. We are ready to win a championship. PJ Hall, Rookie of the Year. He was undrafted. Okay. Josh Giddey now in San Antonio. Wemby also in San Antonio. Dylan Harper, LaMelo Ball. Will Hardy, your Coach of the Year, baby. It's only year 3, but of course we are, clearly best record in the league and obviously, hopefully, anyways, the favorite to win it all. It is Cody Williams, who continues to perform very well for us. Ace Bailey, Lauri Markkanen. So we had 3 guys that were 20-plus points a game. Keyonte George, Peterson, Kessler, Collier, Zubac, Connect, and then Wilson. Boards, Kessler, assists, George, but 9.5. God damn. It is us in the Golden State Warriors, who have now added De'Aaron Fox, but there's not a lot. I mean, VJ Edgecombe, of course, nice young piece, Kelly Oubre, Cam Booth, TJD, but we're just a lot better. I don't really think this one's going to be close. And we sweep. Now the Thunder. These demons, we're going to find ourselves taking them on a little bit earlier than maybe we were initially hoping to, but here goes nothing. Anyways, quick 2-0 lead for us. Good start. 3-0 lead. A sweep. Okay. Okay, it is us in the San Antonio Spurs. Castle, Vassell, Johnson, Flag at Wemby, Giddey, just won a 6th man of the year. Liam McNeely, Hugo. Oh my God, they have so many young prospects. Okay, split the first 2 at home. Win 3 on the road and 4, and we close them out in 5. We are now in the NBA Finals. We have lost 1 game so far. Absolutely insane. Ace Bailey was your Western Conference Finals MVP. Halliburton, who won a regular season MVP, also takes home Eastern Conference Finals MVP. All right, I mean, in terms of the Pacers, there's not many major changes here. Our old friend Taylor Hendricks is there, but yeah, I mean, there's not a lot here that, I mean, okay, you know what? I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but they didn't scare me a lot. We're up 3-0. We are here in Indiana to potentially sweep the Indiana Pacers out of their own gym, and I'd like to get a little gameplay if possible. So let's go ahead and do that. I will see you guys in there. With under 4 minutes to go here in Game 4, we have a 10-point lead. We are obviously on the verge of a sweep. Sweeps are always fun, and yeah, I guess let's just talk about the state of the Utah Jazz. I mean, oh shit, I gotta pay attention. This is now only a 7-point game. The biggest decision of their offseason is what they want to do with Lauri Markkanen. And of course, many people, myself included, had kind of come to the assumption that something would have happened right now. I know there was a deadline, or how did he miss that? What? I know there's a date where he officially becomes eligible for the extension that he wants to sign, and apparently, according to a couple different reports, that's a bad shot. He wants to be in Utah, and if he wants to be in Utah, I am assuming that Danny Ainge and that front office are going to give him an extension. It would be absolutely idiotic not to. He's clearly their best player, and as of now, he is the face of their franchise. So, it's just the one thing is it's not about spending a ton of money on him or anything like that. It's really just going to come down to, can you get a competitive product out there on the floor within the next, say 3 or 4 years? And if the answer to that question is no, then I don't think, keeping Lauri Markkanen long-term is smart. I think you should probably move him. But if the answer to that is yes, and you think that this young core that you're obviously building, Danny Ainge has done a great job of that and collecting draft picks and everything else in between, why not? Why not just let it, kind of just figure itself out? Because it will. And I do think this Jazz team has set themselves up well. Of course, just a few years, that's a horrible shot. I'm so bad at this game. Just a few years ago, they were obviously trying to actually compete with, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell and Ricky Rubio and Bogdanovich and all of those guys. Team never won a championship, even though they were a 1 seed, correct? Which is crazy to think about. But Nonetheless, I think this team obviously committed to something, and I'm hoping that they're able to be back and competitive as long as they get rid of these fucking jerseys because they are so tragic. Okay, I got to focus right now. Let's hopefully lock it in here a little bit. Kick it over here to marketing. Marketing, just... Why? Why do you take 18 fucking Euro steps? Just go to the rim. You're 7 feet tall. Oh my God. I am choking harder than a slut on a Saturday night. I mean, this is just bad. This is not good. Not good. Well, I have taken a 10-point lead and made it a 2-point lead. Not great. Give me a screen, please. Walker, get your big fat ass up here. Ball. Fucking ball. Oh my God. It's over. It's so over. How do you miss that? Okay. This is not going the way I thought it was going to in the way that I want it to go so far. Ace Bailey. What the fuck is going on? All right. I'm calling for the ISO on Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton is certainly not some world-class defensive player. Step back. I'm going to cut this fucking gameplay off. Oh my God. This is tragic and it's bad and that is just awful. Those of you who enjoy watching me do that, you're fucking sickos. Oh, let me tell you that. You're absolutely sick. Ace Bailey, your finals MVP. Insane numbers through a 5-game series, and obviously happy we drafted him. Okay, it is time for another offseason. Of course, we are only wrapping up year 3. We are ready to head into year 4, so a couple of years still to remain on this one. Oh, God, we have a lot of draft picks again. This is not a problem, but it's sometimes a little bit annoying because I have all of these draft picks. I have no idea what to do with them. I don't really need them, but I'm also not just going to give them up for nothing. So as of now, we have what? Holy shit. Some of you may be mad at me for this. I'm trading all of them. I am going to move on from all of these draft picks because I don't need them, right? What am I going to do with all of these draft picks? Nobody wants to give me any future picks? Why is this so hard? Why is this so hard? I mean, who's a free agent for us right now? Georgia's going to get paid. Collier will probably get paid. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Okay, maybe I'll just trade some of the lower end ones then. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what am I supposed to do with all of these draft picks? It's actually insane. Thank you very much, Milwaukee. I know I can actually move them. It's just such a process to do so. So thank you very much, Thunder. Why not? Good, we'll just make the Thunder even better. And then I'll use 5. I'm going to trade 7, but it's just, God, what a position to be in right now. Seriously? Fine. All right, who's here at number 5? I'm not going to bullshit you guys and pretend I know who's in this draft class. I don't know who any of these people are, so let's just go ahead. Sure, Elijah Williams. Welcome to Utah. I don't really know. So he is going to be a 77 overall. Bailey, Williams, Collier, Connected, Knox, all going to be brought back. George is going to enter restricted free agency. Certainly somebody I am going to pay. Wemby's here. Love to get Wemby. Unfortunately, we just don't have the money for it. So let's just pay Keontae George, retain his services, and there might be one other change. Ivica Zubac is now an expiring contract, and we're going to look to make maybe a little bit of an upgrade and more of a long-term solution at our backup center spot. Dalton Connect is also expiring, but he was kind of an odd man out anyways. You will see why in just a moment. So Naz Reid would certainly like to have you here. I'll also include Carter Knox. He has never played for us and was probably not going to. So I moved Peterson from the 3 back to the 2 where he was actually drafted from a positional standpoint, and then Elijah Williams, who we just drafted, number 5 overall, something like that. What did we take him? Yep, 5th overall. We'll now get a little bit of run behind Williams. You got the 2 Williams here at the small forward spot. I will see you guys at the start of year 4. So last year we won 68 games, then won a championship, and there wasn't really any challenges that kind of came up throughout the playoffs, which is a good thing. We brought back basically everybody, few changes on the lower end of the rotation, and this team is hopefully ready to go back-to-back. It's Keontae George, Ace Bailey, Cody Williams, Larry Markton, Walker Kessler, bench unit, Darren Peterson, Isaiah Collier, Naz Reid, Caleb Wilson, and Elijah Williams. This team is obviously extremely talented. I will see you guys at the end of year number 4. This team was really good. Not only were we really good, we might have been the best ever. 74-8. That is the record. That is obviously the greatest record in the history of basketball, and we are hopeful that we're going to go back-to-back. Nikola Jokic, another MVP. Tyron Stokes, your Rookie of the Year. Cameron Boozer. Victor Wembanyama, also Cameron Boozer. Zion Williamson, and Will Hardy. Yep, 74-8, as I mentioned. And it's been a lot of positives so far throughout this video. You know, we started out not so great, and then it just flipped very, very quickly. Okay, Cody Williams, Bailey, George, Markin, and Peterson, Collier. I mean, you guys have eyeballs. You're more than capable of seeing this. And, yeah, let's just go ahead and hopefully do this once again. Booker, Malik Thomas, RJ Barrett, PJ Hall. Yeah, this team doesn't really move me enough. Okay, that is a sweep. We are now moving on to the Portland Trailblazers. Scoot Henderson, Shaden Sharp, Denny Avdia, Vanderbilt. You got Ayton, Simons, Thomas, Ian Jackson. All right, really good team there in Portland. Certainly building something for the future and for the now. However, we are just too good. We knew we were going to have to see them or the Thunder, but they just swept the Demons in Oklahoma City. So the San Antonio Spurs certainly scare me a little bit. Cooper Flagg and Victor Wembanyama is something that happens way too often in this game and hopefully will not happen in real life. We have yet to lose a playoff game, and we are in the finals. This team is just quite literally too good. It is us and the Atlanta Hawks here, who did win 60 games, no longer have Trae Young, but yeah, I'm not really sure. Okay, we finally lost the playoff game, but it's not the end of the world. Obviously, there have not been a ton of challenges throughout this video. We are going to do one more season, but I think you guys kind of get the point or the plan at this point. There's not much else that's going to be changed. Oh my God, what? I don't know. It's what am I supposed to do with the number 1 overall pick right now? I'm not making a major change. I know there hasn't been any blockbusters or anything, but this is also kind of what you get when you do a 5-year rebuild, right? Guys have more time to develop. You don't have to make as many challenging decisions. So I guess I'll draft somebody number 1 overall. I'm not using the other picks just because there's no way. What the hell am I going to do with these other picks at this point? So let's just hopefully trade away. I mean, can I just have a fucking draft pick, please? You know what? I don't even need it. It's fine. It's fine. It's like I literally have too much. It's actually quite insane when you really kind of look at all the different options we have. Thank you very much, Warriors. All right, I have no idea who's in this draft class. Mac Dudley looks to be number 1 overall. Sure, welcome to the team. 7'3" out of USC. Welcome to the team. I don't know. The kid's probably 14 right now. He is an 82 overall, so that's potentially a new backup center. Bailey, Peterson, Wilson, all going to be brought back. We qualify Collier and Williams. Obviously, this is Williams' video, so we have to make sure we retain his services first and foremost. So let's get him back, then we'll work on Collier after. I just want to make sure we have enough money to kind of go around because Williams has to be the priority. And then Collier is going to ask for, oh my God, that off the bench as a 6th man? God damn. Okay. We got to make one more change because we have too many centers now, so there will be some sort of small move, I guess. Apparently, the Golden State Warriors are interested in trading us Brandon Miller, who is also somehow now in Golden State, for Elijah Williams and Naz Reid. We're also picking up Cameron Holmes in this deal. This is a trade that is going to really just kind of be the final move that we're going to do today. So yes, Brandon Miller is not going to start. He's going to come off the bench, even if he is a higher overall than Cody Williams, because Cody Williams has been absolutely fantastic so far. So that is it. That's our final move. I'll see you guys at the start of year 5. We have officially reached the point in the video where it's not so much that I don't care, it's just that I know we're going to be really, really good, so there's not going to be a big winded explanation about what is going on with this team, because you guys are obviously very well aware. Keontae George, Ace Bailey, Cody Williams, Larry Markin, and Walker Kessler. Starting 5 has been the same, basically, I think, since year 2. Brandon Miller will be my 6th man here. Isaiah Collier, who actually the game recommends I start, he is a higher overall than Keontae George right now, after getting paid $230 million or whatever it was, will be my 7th man, playing 18 minutes a night. Darren Peterson drops down on the rotation, Caleb Wilson, and then Mac Dudley. So, yeah, I mean, we're good. There's no denying it. I'm pretty sure the entire rotation is 82 plus overall. I'll see you guys at the end of year 5. John Morant is now a Wizard. He's also your MVP. We go 73-9. I would say it tied the best record in NBA history, but that would be a lie considering we went 74-8 just a year ago. Jeremiah Feerick, your Rookie of the Year. Isaiah Evans, I mean, we are approaching the territory where I don't even know half these players, right? Will Hardy, Coach of the Year once again. Okay, you guys know the whole song and dance at this point. 63-19 there in San Antonio. At least we won't have to see until the West Finals. You guys know, I mean, it gets a little old, I guess, at some point. So feel free to pause, do whatever you got to do. Rebounds Kessler, assists George. Okay, round 1. I think we should, like, not change things up. I think we should, like, set a certain limit. If you guys are still watching at this point, let me know your thoughts on this. When I get to year 5, right, of these prospect rebuilds, obviously my teams are very, very good. And most of the time, I'd say, like, at least 3 out of 4 times, my teams have won at least one championship, and they're very, very good. They're close, if not already, setting the greatest record in NBA history by the time the 5th and final regular season is over. I think we should change it up a little bit in the playoffs, right? I think we should set, because I'm probably going to win a championship, right? We all probably are aware of that. You guys have common sense. How about if we just change it up and say, if I lose, less or more than 2 games, then it's a failure, right? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on something like that down below in the comment section, because I could probably close my eyes, okay. That started out bad. I could probably close my eyes, and at the end of this, I probably have won another championship, right? I think that's probably a safe bet. It is us and the San Antonio Spurs now, who are very, very good, but I think we're just better than. We've now officially lost 2 games, so if I sweep the finals, and technically that's a success. If I lose, then I don't know. It doesn't have to be 2 games either. It was just throwing a number out there. But you get my point, right? I mean, it's a little too easy at this point, and that would have been a successful, run in championship. Right? I don't know. I'm just trying to throw something out there to make it a little bit more challenging, because obviously when we get this late in the video, and I like the 5-year rebuilds. I think it's fun to go further than what I normally do, and just kind of show you guys how different the NBA could look. But the problem with the 5-year rebuilds is that they are vastly easier than the 3-year ones, right? I've always done 3-year rebuilds because I have less time to, obviously sit back and watch the league get more younger talent and all that stuff. So I don't know. I don't have a problem either way. I'm perfectly fine continuing the 5-year prospect rebuilds. Of course, we probably only have 3 or 4 of them left, but just a thought, just an idea, of course, as we approach 2K25 very, very shortly. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section on all of that. Of course, any other video ideas as well. That is it from me. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.